My name is Abraham Ballesteros, and I am a dreamer.
How did you come to the United States?
I don't really remember when I came to the United States because I was so young. And from what I'm told, or from what I hear, is that we came by plane, and it was because somebody knew of someone who could get me on a plane and asked to come here. It wasn't like, I was 3 years old at the time, and I mean, it wasn't like a 3-year-old can make the decision of whether he's going to cross countries or not. It's just something that happened. It's something that my parents decided to do because, well, the life that they had over there was really, really bad. To the point where we didn't have anywhere to stay or sleep or anything like that. So my dad decided that it was for best if he came over here and tried to give us a better life.
How long have you been living here for?
Since I was 3. So I've been living here for 20 years now.
What do you wish people against DACA knew?
I think what I wish they knew, or what I wish that at least some of them would know, is that, we're basically more American than we are anywhere else in this world. We don't know how to fit in. I wouldn't know how to fit in Mexico. I grew up here. I went to elementary, middle school, high school here. I'm going into the future. I got a job now because of DACA. That's good. I'm glad that, DACA became a thing, or else I wouldn't be able to do or work or even be here right now.
What is your dream? What is your goal in life? What do you want to be?
My dream is to finish a career, and I want to be able to do that. And actually, when I was in high school, my senior year is when DACA came out, but I guess the years before then I didn't put much work or much effort into my work because, well, let's face it, I already knew that I wasn't going to be able to get into college because I didn't have any type of legal status here. So why try? Why put myself in a position to gain everything just to not be able to go? It's one thing that I would want to do into now. Yeah, that I'm not a criminal. That it wasn't my decision.
The dreamers are caught up in this mess, but are the least deserving of how this country has treated them. We have invalidated their dreams, toyed with their hopes, and filled them with uncertainty of their future. They did nothing wrong. They were placed in circumstances beyond their control, but yet they're facing the consequences for it. They live in a nation addicted to exploiting them. The majority of them don't even remember how their birth country looks like. If they were to be deported, they would be forced to start from scratch. I think the best solution, and many would agree, is to legalize the dreamers. Again, they had no say over the circumstances that they were in, and it's not right to hold them to an action that they did not commit knowingly. An act like the DREAM Act would guarantee a pathway to citizenship. To be eligible, they would have to prove that they were here for more than 5 years and before the age of 16. They would also have to have a clean record. They would have to show proof of enrollment in the college or university, or would they have to be serving in the military or be employed. When they would first be granted this act, they're going to live in a period called the conditional years, in which it would be to 5 to 6 years. And during those times, they cannot commit any serious crime, they cannot become unemployed, they cannot drop out of their school or college. One of the myths about the DREAM Act is that it will incentivize illegal immigration, and that's not true. Again, this program is just for a one-time universe of students and young adults that can prove that they were already here for 5 years. Someone coming to the border trying to get a hold of this act isn't going to accomplish much. $200 billion. That's how much Trump wants to spend to deport all 11 million undocumented immigrants. According to Marshall Fitz, deportation would include apprehension, detention, legally processing them, and transporting them. what would it solve? These are people that have their life established, that have been living here for 20, 40 years. They are not statistics. They are people with real dreams, with real goals, with real lives and families. Again, the solution would be to legalize them in an organized manner. Not everyone is going to be guaranteed papers. You have to meet the requirements, which are that you can prove that you've been in the United States for more than 10 years, you have been employed for the majority of the time, that you are either getting an education or serving in the military. You have to have a clean slate. If they are eligible, they will enter in a conditional status, and the conditional status will last 10 years, and after the 10 years, they will be able to apply for residency and then later citizenship. I understand we are a nation of laws, and that laws are placed to protect us, and that is why I'm proposing the focused deportation of illegal criminals. According to the Migration Policy Institute, out of all the 11 immigrants here, an estimated 820,000 have criminal records. This includes any traffic violations. The focus of deportation would be similar to the Morton memos, a set of memos that were established by the President Obama and focus it on people that have serious criminal records. The detention should not be cruel. In an article written by Nina Bernstein, she writes about how the detention center failed to detect testicular cancer in an Ecuadorian detainee. He complained a lot of times about pain. They didn't detect the cancer. And if we are going to deport, we must do so in a humane manner. According to the Department of Homeland Security, there were 50,437,000 visa permissions given in 2016. Of those visas, there were roughly 1.25% overstays. But if we look at how much it is, according to Deborah A. Miller, it amounts to 628,799 people. Nearly half of the 11 undocumented immigrants residing in the United States right now. Although it is a small percentage, it's still a lot of people. According to Verdery, the visa program does not have a system to check people out. We live in an era where we always have technology at hand, and I think in this situation, we should put it to action. The first method to be able to create an efficient checking out system for the visa program would be to use emails and alerts to visa holders to remind them of their departure date. Now, this might not seem that big of a deal, this might not solve the current problem at hand, but it is a step towards the right direction. Another idea would be to create a more efficient system to track visa holders and to track when they've overstayed. But even small steps as sending them alerts can all push us in the right direction. For so long, immigrants have been vilified and rejected, torn down and pushed out, but they have survived it all and have done so beautifully. Their presence has never been wanted by the government, but ever so needed. Through labor and hard work, they have built this country up, brick by brick. It is time to bring them out of the shadows and put an end to their fears, because in the end, whether we want to admit it or not, we were once a country founded by immigrants.